Okay, I'm back, y'all, and Divine and Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the next episode of From the Card to the Kingdom. I was actually getting ready to talk to God about this, and God told me to record this, and so um, here we are. So today is January 31st as I'm recording this. And I'm just keeping a buckle with y'all, man. It's been a challenging message. It's been a challenging couple of days for me. There's been a lot, just a lot. Um, I would say warfare. There has been a lot that has been happening for me, and so far it's warfare. But with that being said, let me say this, and kind of where I know the Lord is taking this video and the direction of it. Um, I want to first challenge this is a challenge for me and as well and for you as well, and this is something the Lord been talking to me about for the past, I don't know, for the past week or so. And I kind of, like, I heard him say it, but I still just kind of shook it off and didn't really, you know what I'm saying, wasn't really focused on it. But he just brought it back again, so I was just scrolling on Instagram and just getting a lot of, just getting hearing different people speak in wisdom. And I've kind of, there's something that has stuck out that the Lord has been saying in a couple of messages I received. And this is the understanding that he wants us to have in this moment. If you don't do anything else, I want you to drop this in the chat. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So one of the things that God is he literally, I just said it out loud. I said, Lord, one of my biggest problems has been, and I don't know if you'll relate to this, but is there such a thing as being too humble? What do you mean? What you mean, Touche? Is there such a thing as being too humble? And what the Lord just told me is that, yeah, there is. Because sometimes, first of all, let me go back. In order for you to be successful, in order for you to really accomplish and achieve what God has said you're capable of, one of the things that I've heard about any person that I've listened to, and just as they've talked about success, is how much they believed in themselves. How much they believed in what they were doing, how much they believed in their vision, how much they believed in their ability to get to the top and to get to the next place, the next level. Even, and then they reach that level and they believe even more, because I got here, I know I can take it another step. And I have found in being who I am, and on this journey of getting to where I want to go, number one, it's about clarity and being very specific about where you want to go. God has given me a vision, right, of what his will is for my life. But it's up to me to take the steps to make that vision happen. But what I often find myself doing is, it's not that I don't believe in myself, but it's having the delulu faith in myself. I heard Cat Williams say this on a podcast I watched that he was on the other day. Guy I've never even seen before, but he had Cat Williams on his podcast. And, Cat Williams was just talking about, he mentioned about, um, like, your belief. Basically, the way I interpret it was, he was like, your belief in your ability to get to where you're going is what literally gets you where you're going. And he also said, it's not about believing in yourself to do it. It's about believing in God to do it. It's about knowing that he was like, it's one thing if you just believe in yourself to make something happen. It's another thing believing in you and believing in God. He was like, you can believe in both of those. And so what I have found is that I believe in God, but what's lacking is my belief in myself. Does that make sense? It's not that I don't think that I'm capable. It's not that I don't think that I have the ability, but it's the knowing. It's like, no, I'm going to. So like I said, as I was just scrolling on, the last thing I literally just heard was, I want to say her name is Mel Robbins, and she said something that made me stop and say, this the 1, 2, and the 3. Okay. um that is a good title. This the 1, 2, and the 3. That may be what I changed this to. um Let me just say something to somebody, and maybe it's just me that needed this message or this reminder. Do you understand that you have gone and experienced too much? You have gone through too many situations, too many circumstances. Mel Robbins just said, there's no, Lord, I was finna cuss. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that I have been through all of this shit that I done been through. And listen, there's no way that I've been through all of this and I don't become successful. There's no way that I'm going to let my experiences be for nothing. There's no way that I'm not going to get where I'm going. There's no way that I'm not going to accomplish what God put me here to do, because many of us have been through too much to fail. One of the things, and I may have mentioned it on another message, but I literally have told God, I say, God, this gonna work. And it ain't no ifs, it ain't no buts, it ain't no, well, maybe it could. And see, that's been me. And I received this, Lord. That's been me. I've been in this maybe mentality. Come on, God. I've been in this maybe mentality. And God said, when are you gonna get out of your maybe mentality and get into your oh no, this gonna work. Oh no, this is going to work, because there's no way that I have gone through all of this for it not to. There's no way that I have overcome these circumstances. There's no way that I have gone through all of these trials and tribulations for me not to reach the goal, not to accomplish the vision that God has given me. There's no way. And so when I heard her say that, I said, man, if that ain't the one. I had heard a lot of people, and I listened to different, as I scrolling through different reels on Instagram. The one that finally made me just put the phone down and say, you know what, you right. There's no way. And so God said, go ahead and record this, because I need somebody. I stand in agreement with you on this. We're coming out of a maybe mentality. We're coming out of a maybe my business is going to prosper. Maybe my business is going to be successful. Maybe I'm going to be an entrepreneur. We're coming out of this maybe mentality, and we stepping into the I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to have it. I know I'm going to be it. I am going to accomplish. And so I say that, y'all, because I feel like that's one of the biggest things. And like I said, I be talking to God about being humble, because it's almost like God saying, do you know that you're going to accomplish great and amazing things? Do you know that I gave you an assignment that may seem impossible, but I gave it to you because I know you can do it? Do you believe in yourself to be able to accomplish it? Do you believe in your ability to get this done? And I said, and as God gives us new instructions and our next set of, you know what I'm saying, commands and things to accomplish, it's like, do you know that you can do it? I had a little talk with myself today, because I was like, man, I got some things going on, and I'm just like, Lord, I'm praying that I'm able to do this. And Lord said, you need to start believing that you know you're going to accomplish some stuff. And it's crazy, because so many times I have told myself that you got to have this like delulu, like, you got to be delulu about your purpose. You got to be delulu about it. But I oftentimes find myself losing that level of faith, if you will. I have faith, but it's like being crazy about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, being crazy about where you want God to take you. Because so many times, and I don't know if this is like a religious mindset, and I try not to do any religiosity, but I can also see where some of it is from the Bible, and it limits me to the belief of what I can do. And I hope this makes sense. But it's like me having this mentality, like, well, I want to be, I want it, and I want to see this happen for me. I want to be the first multimillionaire in my family. But then countering that with, but if God don't do it, then I'm okay with it. And it's kind of like, no, like, no, I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to set my children up for generations to come. Like, I want to, all of these things that I want to do for visions that God has given me. But then what I do is I turn right around and counteract that with a, but if that's not what, no. So whoever needs this message, it's like, listen, if God has given us something to do, we gotta, like I said, man, we gotta come out of this maybe mentality and step into this, no, it's gonna happen mentality. Because I feel like that could be a big difference between what God blesses us with and what, because if you, it's like, okay, well, God, yeah, it's like saying, God, I want $1 million, but I'll settle for 100,000. No, I don't want 100,000. I want 1 million. Does that make sense? And that's the best example. Thank you, Lord. Like, that's the best example that I can give, is saying that I want this, but I'll be good with this. No, God is like, don't stop trying to, stop settling. Because what if God, because if you say you want 1 million, then God be like, okay, well, I'll take your million and I'll double it, I'll triple it, I'll multiply it. I'll see you like ante up, right? Like, you bet this, and God be like, okay, you bet this, I raise you this. Like, it's something like, and this is, I'm using money because it's the easiest example, but it's literally like, going into business, right? Like, no, I know my business is going to do well because there's a reason that God called me into business in the first place. But then settling for, well, if it doesn't, no, when God gives you a vision for a business, or he gives you a vision for an idea that you have, he's not expecting you to settle for maybe. He's not expecting you to settle for, well, if even if it doesn't, I just, no, it's about us getting back, having this understanding, um that if you don't believe in it beyond, because ain't nobody else gonna believe in it the way that you believe in it, because it's your vision, it's your goal, it's your assignment, it's what God has given you to do. And so, as I was just sitting here and I saw that last video, and I said to myself, I said, there's no way. There's no way that I have gone through as much as I have had to experience, as much hardship as I've had to endure, as much, and still enduring. There's no way that I'm going to allow this processing, this these situations, these circumstances. There's no way I'm going to let it beat me. There's no way that I am not going to have the success that I want. There's no way that I'm not going to accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish, no matter what it takes. And I think that that's how we get in our own way sometimes, is because it's like settling with God, and God ain't never told us to settle. God always promised us abundance. He didn't say that it was going to be one easy, right? But he always told us that he had the victory for us. He always told us that he had a win for us. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and this just another example. No, I want my messages to reach millions and millions of people every single day. I want people to understand, to get this word from God. I want people, but it's also me, like, well, I don't worry about the numbers, but do I want to have bigger impact? Absolutely, because I'm not giving these messages for me. I'm giving the messages for other people to be receptive to them and to listen to them. And I'm not just up here for the sake of talking. I'm not doing this work that God has given me to do. And so I feel like these are limiting beliefs. Thank you, Lord. Like, I feel like these are limiting beliefs that we are having to overcome. And we have to stop taking these caps out. Like, we got to, like, no cap. We got to stop putting a cap, okay, on the success we want to see, on how far you want to go, what you want to accomplish. Because I think that the people who dream the biggest, I think the people who are the most successful and that we see have all of these things, like they don't put a limit on their level of success or what they are capable of or what they can accomplish. And I feel like that was what God was trying to show me today. He's like, man, you thinking too small for the vision that I've given you. God sees you as accomplishing something big. He sees you as accomplishing something like beyond what you can even imagine, but he can't bring you into that. He can't bring you into what he wants you to be until you first believe that you're capable of of accomplishing it, of holding that assignment, of holding that weight. And all day today, God kind of just been talking to me about that. Like, you don't see yourself as big enough. You don't see yourself as, you know what I'm saying? You not seeing yourself the way that God sees you. And so, um, I hope this encourages somebody, man, and just makes us, and again, I received this because the Lord put it on my heart. Like, if you're not crazy delusional about your dreams or accomplishing something, like just doing something great and amazing, how are you ever going to reach it? And so the Lord has been really speaking to me about taking the limits off of what you believe is possible for yourself, taking the limits off of what you believe you can accomplish, what you believe you can do, how far you believe that you can go. And it's and the thing because the thing about it is the enemy wants us to stay limited. And it's even, now mind you, you still gonna have to go through, divine timing is up to the Lord. So this has nothing to do with timing. This has everything to do with your belief in God and your belief in yourself. Do you believe that God can take you as high as you possibly can imagine? One of the things that I say all the time, when we talk about manifesting, some of y'all have heard me say this before. In order for me to not, like, if I write something down or something that I want to accomplish, I'm like, this thing that I write or something better. I call it the razzle dazzle that I put on the end of my intentions. And it's like God talking to us about, do you believe that he can bring the razzle dazzle? Do you believe that he can multiply what you think you want, that he can multiply it, that he can make it even bigger? But first you got to believe that it's like saying, like me, Dad, I'm a homeowner. Like, I know that I'm going to have a home. I know that I'm going to be the first homeowner in my family. Like, I know this, that I'm going to have it. And God is the kind of God, he's like, child, you ain't gonna just be a homeowner, you're gonna own homes. Does that make sense? He's like, you talking about one house, but I'm talking about 10. I'm talking about, apartment buildings or, something like that. It's like, do you believe that you can have own apartment complexes? Do you believe that God is capable like this? And I'm using this as an example for someone who may be in real estate or real estate investing. Instead of just wanting one home, why not want multiple homes and use those homes to pay your mortgage? It's something like that, where it's just like, start asking God for the impossible. Start asking him for stuff that don't make sense. And I feel like that's where he's trying to get us to, because the only thing that limits us is our imagination, or not dreaming big enough, not praying, not having big enough faith. And the more that God teaches me about faith, and the more that I walk this journey, and the more he just, continues to show up in a variety of ways in my life, the more I'm able to say, man, I had a big dream. I never even, it's crazy because I never had a dream to be on national television. Does that make sense? And because I was always like, I got my platforms, and I'm good with my platforms, but then the Lord said, you know what, I'm gonna trump that. Let me go put you over. And it's just kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because it was his that was God's plan, not my plan. And then he just aligned everything so that I could fulfill that plan. Does that make sense? Because it's in alignment with what he wants me to do anyway. And so, which is what I do, come up here and give these messages. I'm thinking my platforms are good, are big enough. God say, let me put you on an even bigger platform. It's things like that that got, like God is trying to multiply and bless things in our life. And it's really just understanding, like, man, there's no way that I've gone through everything, because it's like, it's, I don't know, maybe this is for someone who's feeling like giving up, or just thinking that God is giving you an impossible task. I received that. I feel like God is giving me a task that it's like, Daddy, I don't even understand how this makes sense, Lord. Like, how what am I, that I don't even know what I'm doing. And he's just like, but I do. So don't limit God, don't limit yourself, don't limit your vision, don't limit your dreams. And I feel like God is really in this season where he's bringing people into things that seem impossible. He's bringing us into seasons that seem impossible, and positions and rooms that seem impossible. And we hear this stuff all the time, y'all, but I think it's what they said, faith comes by hearing. It's like, we hear this stuff all the time, but do we truly believe that God is capable of doing these things? Do we truly believe that God is capable of giving us these things? And are we playing too small for God? And is that why God will give to some, because they believe big for it? Is it why some people never make it? Because they don't believe that they can go further than what further than they did. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I know that God said, you're not believing big enough. You're not expecting big enough. You're not as in it. And I just was like, man, he was like, I kid you not, y'all, there's no way that I cannot create the next level of success, or the level of success that I see for myself. There's no way that I'm going to waste these experiences. There's no way that with everything I've been through, that I am not going to get. I got to get it. I got to get there. Wherever there is, whatever it is that you your assignment is, I got to get there. I can't stop. I won't stop until I get as far as I can possibly go, until I have done as much as I can possibly do, experienced as much as I can possibly experience before I go home and then have to come back again. There's just no way, because in this life, what I have had to overcome, the experiences that I came here to have, the experiences that I've lived out, the things that I've had to go through, there's no way. It's not. I don't know if you need to look at your life. And because again, y'all, this is not just for y'all. I am speaking to myself, because God is speaking this to me. Listen, ain't no way that I've had to go through all of this and not believe that there's no way. When is it? How? When? I don't know. How? I don't know. It's about, and I kid you not, y'all. Like, I really just been telling God, like, man, God finna do something. Lord, you finna do something great and amazing. You finna do something so big that I can't believe it. Like, just decreeing and declaring. Like, I'm like being specific. Like, no, God, this is not acceptable anymore. This has got to happen. It's like God saying, and it's not that you're placing and this is the thing. It's not that I'm placing demands on God, because who am I to tell God what to do? But the thing about it is, God is also like, you have not because you ask not. Does that make sense? Like, and that goes back to what I was saying, and I hope this is tracking. That goes back to what I was saying. Like, God, I asked God, like, can you be too humble? And God said yes, because it's not about, if you tell God what you need, and he knows that it's for your, because he knows you need it, but you got to ask for what you want. God said, why you acting like you don't want to see the success in your life? Or why you acting like you don't want to be a business owner? Why you acting like you don't want it? Why you acting like asking him is a problem? Thank you. Like, that message, that's the thing. Like, asking God for stuff is not a problem for God, because he has it to give freely. And I think that has been, and that, thank you, Spirit, that's more along the lines of, being too, for me, being too humble, not wanting to ask God for the things that I want, feeling like if I ask God for too much, that He's going to feel some type of way. And God just ain't on that type of time. And it's literally like, no, you're not asking for enough. And that has been my problem. It's like I'm not chasing money, right? And I'm using money because it's the easiest to add, it's the easiest, okay? I'm not chasing money, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't want to be making a certain amount per month or per year. But me coming out of this limiting mindset, y'all, this is us breaking limiting beliefs. It's like coming out of this mindset of, well, God knows what I need, so I'm not going to ask him. No, he's like, no. He was like, you need to ask for what you want because that's why you don't have it. That's why you don't see this growth in this area, because you playing so like you're limiting yourself and limiting God to what he actually wants to do in your life. And I hope that makes sense. I hope it's making sense to, and maybe I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it's just like, if you want to make $10,000 a month, then say that. If you want to be make a hundred, like $100,000 a year, then say that, versus sitting there saying, well, I just want enough to pay my bills every month. No, I don't. No. And that's where God is at with me. And it's, God is, he's all fun and jokes, but there are times when God come in and be like, you know what, you doing too much, or you not doing enough. Like, you just, why, he was like, why do you keep settling? And that's not, because what it is it's how, it's like how it's, I don't even know how to explain that. It's like, and you want more, but you up here like, well, I don't want to ask for more because God has control of the everything. Like, there's, you can't get enough from him. And so he's really been talking to me about, you have not because you ask not. Feeling like if you ask him for that it's too much. There's nothing that's too much for God. And so I feel like he's trying to help us break these mindsets of feeling, it's a scarcity mindset, it's a poverty mindset, that you feeling like if you ask God for a mansion, that he's only going to give you a cardboard box. If that's what you want, then want that and tell God you want it. Because how can God start aligning us with the things that we want if we're not first honest about the things that we really want? If you want to be a multimillionaire, hello, if you want to be a multimillionaire, you got to, and you go tell God, and that's a part of God's purpose for your life. Well, you got to tell him you want it first. If you just want to be a 10,000aire, then he gonna keep you with a 10,000aire mindset. He's gonna provide 10,000aire opportunities, 10,000aire rooms. And so I kid you, y'all, I feel like God is just like, man, we playing in 2025. We not playing small anymore. We not acting like we don't want to see things show up. We're not acting like we don't want to be in the rooms. We're not acting like we don't want the money. We're not acting like we don't want these things. We're not idolizing them, because I don't chase money, I attract it. I don't chase anything, I attract everything. But God is like, but if you don't even if you're not even acting like you want to see it, then guess what? You're not going to see it. The more you don't want to see it, the less you're going to see it. Does that make sense? If you know you want to make this, if you then and you tell God, okay, God, you need to start putting me in $1 million rooms. You need to start putting me around these kind of places where I can take my business to $1 million business. You need to start giving, I need to be aligned. And this is alignment, right? I need to be aligned with $1 million opportunities. I need to be aligned with people who are on that same, on millionaire type of time. Because otherwise you're gonna still be playing in the small rooms and in the same environments and with the same money and the same people with the same mindset. And God is trying to transition us out of the familiar, out of the things that we've always known, out of the situations that we're currently in. And again, y'all, I spend a lot of time just like listening and trying to understand the things that God is showing me and telling me. And this is one of those things. It's just like, this is the poverty mindset, the scarcity mindset that he's trying to break all of it. He's trying to break so many of us out of, is thinking that there's any limit to what he can do. But if you don't believe you can touch the sun, the moon, and the stars, if you don't believe that you can get that far, then you never will. And so I hope this helps somebody. Like I said, I receive this into my own spirituals, because God is just like, you know what? If you, when you ready to play big, he gonna play big with you. When you're ready to shift your life, and the way that he's, the things that he's bringing into your life, he can't start aligning those things if you're not in the mindset of receiving them. He can't start aligning the opportunities if you still in the I'm still playing too small mindset. And I think that that's one of the hardest things for us to do, is shift out of that mindset of limiting him. We're all limited by our our education, our experience, our knowledge, our wisdom, our understanding, but there are no limits on God. But one of the first things that have to happen is, you got to believe, okay, God, you see me, and again, money. You see me as a multimillionaire. I know, because you wouldn't have told me in my spirit that I'm supposed to be a multimillionaire, that I'm supposed to, have money and be able to be a provider for my family. You wouldn't have told me that if that wasn't a part of your vision for me. So, okay, Lord, let me start believing that I'm the multimillionaire message. Let me start believing that I'm the multimillionaire that you said I am. Not because I am doing anything, but because you said that that's who I am. You told me that that you would make my name great. You told me that I would be a blessing to others, and you would bless those who bless me and curse those who curse me. You said that I was going to accomplish these great and amazing things. Okay, Lord, now that I believe that I'm a multimillionaire, and this is manifestation, y'all. Now that I believe that I'm a multimillionaire, Lord, start aligning multimillionaire opportunities. Start me on that pathway, because until you start believing that you are the thing that God, or the person that God created you to be, you're only going to be what you think you are. Does that make sense? And I hope that made sense to somebody. I receive it, Lord. And I'm just like, man, my bad, daddy. Like, my bad for thinking that I'm not more. My bad for it's, we talk about diminishing ourselves, diminishing our light, not believing in ourselves. And the Lord is just like, listen, when you start believing in you, I can show you how much I believe in you. When you start believing in what you're capable of, I can show you that I already know that you're capable of it, because I sent you here to do it. I sent you here to accomplish it. I sent you here to make that happen. I sent you here to be great. I sent you here to be a multimillionaire. I sent you here to do the assignment that I've given you to do. So the sooner that you can believe that you're capable, qualified, he can start saying, okay, now that you're ready, now that you believe in it, now that you believe in yourself, now that you're ready for the experiences, now that you're shifting your mindset, because this is all it is, y'all. It's a mindset shift. Now that you believe in yourself the way that I believe in you, now I can start aligning things to happen for you. Now I can start showing you just how great you truly are, and just what you're capable of. Now I can start aligning people and opportunities, and putting you where you need to be. But he can't do any of that until we start believing in what he's told us to do, believing in ourselves and believing in the vision, and then believing that, allowing him to show us, okay, yep, you're all of that plus some. I'm going to show you just how great you are. I'm going to show you just how far you can go. I'm going to show you just what you're capable of. I'm going to show you just how qualified you are to be in certain rooms and arenas. And then you're going to go in there, and you're going to learn message, and you're going to learn, and then you're going to experience stuff. And now you the next, then you be like, okay, Lord, this was a cool room to be in. This is good. I done learned a thing or two in there. You go in there, you take notes, you learn what you need to learn. And then God say, okay, well, guess what? It's another level after that. And then you like, word. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in another environment. You find yourself doing something else. You find yourself going after something even bigger. And then you go in there and you just repeat the process. Like, man, I'm learning some things. You know what? If it's that, it's something after that too. So then you go and you accomplish the next thing because God said, yeah, man, it don't stop. It don't stop until you've gone as far as you can go. And as far as you can go is when you go to glory, when you go home and return home to the Lord. So until then, we should all be stepping out and trying to accomplish as much as possible. We should all be trying to get as far as we can, because God is not going to stop giving. He's not going to stop giving. He's not going to stop giving you new things to conquer. He's not going to stop giving you new ideas. He's not going to stop giving you until you don't have anything left to give. It's just like, man, this was good. I've done everything that I came to do. And then at that point, you give up the ghost and you go back to glory. So until then, God says, start believing in yourself. Start believing in what everything that if you think you can do it, you got to, before when you think it, then you got to know it, and then you got to do it. And you just got to keep going, and you got to stay committed to going even further and beyond what you can even imagine. Because I promise you, I feel like God is in this season where he's getting ready. The sooner you start believing in it, the soon as you start believing that you can have it and you can have these new things, it's like God can start aligning things. And this speaks to people. And this is not, it's even, I don't care what season, what stage of your wilderness journey that you're in. Do you realize that what only was supposed to take the Israelites 2 weeks took 40 years? If they had just believed in God every time that he said, just believe, just trust me, just believe, I'm gonna do it, just believe, if you would just believe, what should have been a short trip, which is the way God is for all of us. If we just believe when God says a thing and we don't doubt it, he can make it happen quicker. He can bring something to fruition quicker. So I want to challenge everybody who watches this message, man, like start having, and I think I'm just going to start releasing these as the Lord gives them to me. And I have a couple of messages that, and I might just release this right now, but it's like, just start believing God to come on 511. That's God will help you create. Like, start believing God for what you want to accomplish, and start believing big, because as soon as you do, it's like God can start, he can start bringing in and aligning the opportunities, and um start opening things up. So anyway, Lord, I hope this helps somebody. um Hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude, have a fantastic and an amazing day in purpose, on purpose, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Love y'all in real life. Bye, y'all.